2021, though. That one, all right. That's fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to call up Harold DeMoss, who's with the Compact for a Balanced Budget. Compact for America, sorry. And Andy Welch, who's also a co-sponsor of this bill. And what this does is this is a compact among the states to call for an Article 5 convention and to get the federal government to balance the budget. It limits their ability to raise the debt ceiling. And it's an innovative approach to having an Article 5 convention without the fear of having a runaway convention. There's a lot of safeguards built in to prevent that. And in the bill, the rules of the convention are known in advance, the delegates of the convention are known in advance, the voting procedures are known in advance. The single constitutional amendment that's being proposed is deliberated at the state level, and the language is defined, so that's known in advance before you ever go. And it's an up or down vote at the convention, and it's just a tightly crafted way to finally get Washington to do something and be fiscally responsible. So I'm going to let Andy go through.
Mr. Chairman, what would be the preference?
Why don't you present the bill by going through and giving us some oversight as to specific statutory sections you have here that to apply and how they are to be addressed as far as the purpose of the bill.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen of the committee, the compact initially deals with, and I'll direct your attention with the definition section. This is under Article 2 of the compact. Article 2 deals with definitions, and on page, I'll direct your attention to page 3. This is the core language of the amendment that that's being proposed. This would have this would be the language that would be installed into the Constitution if ratified by 38 states. Section 1, beginning on line 54, deals with the requirement that there be a balanced budget by the Congress. Section 2 sets a debt ceiling. The debt ceiling would be that in which exists at the time of ratification. So if it's $20 trillion is the debt at the time of ratification, then 105% of $20 trillion, which is $21 trillion, would be your debt limit. So it automatically sets the debt limit at that amount. At the current burn rate of Congress and interest, that's about a 2-year window with deficit spending. So it gives Congress anywhere from a year to 2 years to
Keep the door
adjust.
shut over there. Keep the door shut, please. Keep the door shut. Thank you. Too much noise in the hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And that's two years to allow for Congress to adjust spending. Section 3 is the release valve. This is where the states have the authority by petition of Congress to increase the debt limit. It requires the vote of a majority of states. And in this sense, you're having a board of directors overseeing what the debtor is doing. Currently, there is no creditor that oversees the debt that is spent by the debtor. This would actually provide a board of directors in the sense of the states overseeing that debt. Section 4 deals with an impoundment provision, which if the debt reaches the point of 98% of the debt limit, the president is required to impound monies. In other words, choose which bills she's going to pay, and then to hold that back until Congress makes a decision as to where it's going to save money so that the bills can be paid and decide which bills will be paid. So Congress can actually override the president's choice of impoundment. Section 5 deals with taxation, and in this section, a simple majority vote can be used to do away with exemptions and loopholes in the tax code in order to make sure that there's enough revenue to pay the debt and to balance the budget. It would require that a supermajority of 2/3 of vote of the Congress would be required in order to raise taxes on your standard tax base of income taxes, for example. And then also if the Congress does want to substitute an income tax for a consumption-based tax, then it may do so by just a simple majority.
Can we stop for a moment on that point, just
Yes,
to where
sir.
we are with this? This is the proposed language which would address the constitutional amendment if approved by the 37 states. 38, sorry. If we have, during the convention, a discussion, debate, and it becomes a position of the majority that some portion of this language needs to be modified, is there ability for that to occur, or are they're committed strictly to whatever that language is, and nothing can be changed?
You're correct, it's the latter of the two. Once the language is approved by the 38 states in the compact, then that's the language that you vote on. It's up or down vote. There's no drafting or changes made at the convention.
So even within the 38 states, so it says, I just don't like that wording, we're going to modify the wording. That would not then constitute a member of the compact, if they pass the legislation.
That would be a breach of the compact, yes.
All right.
Now, but what is important about this is that when you start the compact process, once those states form the compact, which you need 2 to start, once that's done, then you have the opportunity through any subsequent states to go back and amend these compacts if, as we progress along, better language becomes appealing and the states say, we want to change that. But as it is right now, you have to start with some point in time as to what you think the language would be.
I'm going to have to ask the door stay shut during debate. If I need to, we'll get an officer for the Capitol to come over here and stand by the door, but I don't want any more opening and closing the door while we're going through debate. It's too distracting and hard to hear for the people on the committee. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So there would be the opportunity for adjustments, but it would be through the compact itself. So once you have states joining the compact, discussions can be had at the commission level to decide, well, we want to change this language, we'd like to see this, and if the states that are members of the compact agree, then that would be changed.
Well, how will those states make that change?
They would have to do it through the legislative process back home.
In their states.
It would not be through the commission, no.
Right. Okay.
And then Section 6 deals with your definition sections of describing the specific terms that are outlined in the proposed amendment for a balanced budget amendment.
All right.
Section 7 is just a self-enforcing provision of the article. That covers the language of the constitutional amendment, and I'm happy to take questions, and Chip and Moss is here. We have to take questions at this point. If you'd like, Mr. Chairman, we could proceed.
Go ahead. Proceed.
Article 3 of the compact discusses the compact membership and withdrawal, allows for the states to join after they pass the compact through the legislative process, and then it would also allow individual states to withdraw, and you can withdraw at any time for any reason prior to the 38th state joining the compact. Again, home rule is controlling, so the state's law still controls. You're not waiving any of your state law with respect to the compact. There is a requirement that we have. I'm just looking down here to make sure I'm checking on it. In Section 3, under Article 3, which is on page 5, in working with the Goldwater Institute, the Compact for America, we were taking this language and trying to revise it in a manner that we thought was appropriate for the state of Georgia. And in Section 3, we made exceptions so that various compact members could deviate in their compact slightly with respect to how they chose their delegates to the commission or to the convention. Some states may want to just send their governor, which was the case at the Constitutional Convention. Benjamin Franklin, I think, was governor of Pennsylvania, and another governor was sent as well, and that was the sole representation from those states during that process. So it varied from time to time. But you could have a governor go instead of legislative individuals, or you could have legislators go, or a mixture of the both. So we did not want to preclude any state from deciding whether they wanted governors, legislators, or both to go. So this allows for some changes or differentiation between the compacts. Article 4 deals with the Compact Commission, and this forms a commission. Once 2 states are formed, then a commission is formed, is created by 3 volunteer individuals. Those individuals, the purpose of the commission is to work on getting more states to join the compacts. So you then have a tip of the spear, if you will, that can go to work with more states. Currently, I think 6 states are considering a compact proposal: Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Arizona, Texas? No, I don't think Texas. Several others. And so we would like to, of course, be in the lead on that. And which is interesting, once the commission is formed, the first state to actually adopt the compact becomes that state's delegates to the convention actually serves as the chair to the convention, and so would moderate and control the convention. Also, you're going to be able to set forth the first individuals to the commission. So those first states that join actually have some control, regulatory control, if you will, over the convention and the commission itself. Funding is by the individual states that join. Section 7 on page 7 just goes through the key events of notice. Article 5 is where it requires the resolution for applying for the convention, and essentially this compact serves as the congressional application for a balanced budget for convention, and that language is set forth in section 5. Article 6 deals with the delegate appointment, and this is important. I'm sorry? I'll let you come back. Article 6 deals with the delegate appointment limitations and instructions. This is where the compact confines the delegates to a simple up or down vote at the Constitutional Convention, and their authority is limited by the compact, so they're not authorized to deviate from that charge. This gets into it also gets into who is selected as delegates. In this version of the compact we've presented to you, the delegates that serve at the convention would consist of the governor, the Speaker of the House, and the President pro tem of the Senate, or their designees. And the vote of the 3 of them, the majority vote of the 3 of them, constitutes the vote of the state. In Article 7, the convention rules are set forth that specifically are there to address just the vote on the balanced budget amendment, the language contained in the compact. And also there's a requirement that the convention be fully transparent. We wanted to make sure that the public could watch and witness the convention and observe that, so as to ensure that there was a sense of keeping with the commitments that the compact states have agreed to. Article A is a prohibition on ultra-virus conventions, and that essentially says that if you act contrary to the compact, the convention is null and void, the actions are null and void, and the member states have the authority to enforce those provisions. Article 9 is a resolution ratifying the balanced budget amendment. This would be automatic upon the adoption by 38 states of the balanced budget amendment. Then the balanced budget amendment takes effect, and it would be automatically ratified since all 30 states, since the requisite number of 3/4 of the states have approved it, which is 38. Article 10 just deals with your construction enforcement and some of your boilerplate language. The venue in this was chosen to be the Northern District of Texas in terms of litigation. That can be changed by the commission. And then also there is it's also preset as to the location of the convention. That can be changed, of course, by the parties. But right now it's set for Dallas, Texas, at 9 a.m. The point of this, I know this is a detailed document. It's a long document, but the point of the document is to specifically spell out to the state and to the public and to you, the members of this committee, and to the members of the House of Representatives, exactly what would happen if the compact was formed and if the convention was held. So you would know ahead of time, and you would not have a drafting convention so that parties could sit around and draft the constitutional amendment, and the language may change, the purpose and intent of the parties may change, so that you have what is commonly referred to as a runaway convention. And that, in short, sums up the compact, Mr. Chairman. I'm happy to try to answer questions about it.